What if I told you that everything you've been eating to stay strong, to stay healthy, to fight back against aging is actually the very reason your muscles are disappearing? What if the chicken you're grilling every night, the protein shakes you're choking down every morning, the expensive supplements lining your kitchen counter, what if none of it is working? Not because you're not trying hard enough, but because your aging body simply cannot use it the way it once could. What if right now, inside your muscle tissue, there is an emergency happening in slow motion, a quiet crisis your doctor hasn't mentioned, your trainer doesn't understand, and the billion-dollar supplement industry is praying you never figure out? And what if the answer, the real, scientifically validated, ancient, shockingly affordable answer, fits inside the palm of your hand and costs less than a single protein bar? Stay with me. Because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could be the most important nutritional discovery of your life after 60. Your muscles are not done. Your strength is not finished. Your best physical chapter may not be behind you. It may be one tiny seed away from beginning. What if everything the fitness industry told you about protein was designed to keep you dependent on expensive supplements, overpriced powders, and factory-farmed chicken? Here's the shocking truth most doctors will never tell you. There exists a tiny, ancient seed that contains a protein density so astronomically high, it makes chicken breast look like water. We're not talking about a small difference. We're talking about 300 times more bioavailable, muscle-building protein packed into something you can buy for less than $2. Scientists have studied this seed for decades, yet the mainstream nutrition world has kept it buried under mountains of marketing noise. After the age of 60, your body's ability to absorb protein drops dramatically, a condition called anabolic resistance. This means you need smarter protein sources, not just more chicken. Your muscles are literally starving at a cellular level while you chew through expensive cuts of meat that your aging digestive system can barely process anymore. This seed bypasses that problem entirely. It delivers protein in a form so pure, so bioavailable, your muscle cells recognize it like a long-lost signal. What if one seed could rewrite the aging story of your entire body? What if the fatigue, weakness, and shrinking strength you feel every morning isn't just getting older? What if it's your muscles sending out an emergency distress signal that nobody around you is trained to hear? After 60, the human body loses between 1% to 3% of its muscle mass every single year in a process called sarcopenia. By the time most people realize it's happening, they've already lost 30% of the muscular foundation that keeps them upright, mobile, and independent. This isn't a minor inconvenience. Sarcopenia is directly linked to falls, fractures, diabetes, heart disease, cognitive decline, and early death. Your muscles are not just for lifting weights. They are your body's largest metabolic organ. They regulate blood sugar. They protect your bones. They produce anti-inflammatory compounds that literally fight cancer cells. When your muscles shrink, everything collapses. Doctors hand you blood pressure pills and cholesterol medication, but nobody sits you down and says, the real emergency is happening in your muscle tissue. The good news, and this is the part that will genuinely shock you, muscle can be rebuilt at any age. 70, 80, even 90 years old. Your muscles are waiting for the right signal. That signal is protein, the right kind of protein. What if the grilled chicken breast sitting on your plate right now is actually one of the worst protein investments your aging body can make? Before you protest, hear the science. After 60, your stomach produces significantly less hydrochloric acid. Your pancreatic enzymes slow down. Your intestinal lining thins. The result? Your body struggles to break down dense animal proteins like chicken, beef, and fish efficiently. Studies show that older adults absorb as little as 50% of the protein they consume from conventional meat sources. You could be eating 40 grams of protein from chicken and only receiving the cellular benefit of 20. Meanwhile, inflammation increases with every meal of factory-farmed meat. Chronic low-grade inflammation that quietly destroys muscle tissue, stiffens joints, and accelerates aging at the cellular level. The iron in red meat oxidizes. The saturated fats burden your cardiovascular system. The hormones and antibiotics fed to commercial poultry disrupt your endocrine system. Your body is working harder to process your food than it is to use it. And here is the devastating irony. While your expensive chicken dinner is being poorly absorbed, your muscles continue to shrink. There is a smarter, cheaper, more powerful answer, and it fits in the palm of your hand. What if a seed eaten by ancient civilizations for thousands of years contains the most complete, most potent muscle building protein profile ever discovered, and it costs less than a cup of coffee? This is not a new discovery. Researchers have studied this extraordinary seed in peer reviewed journals for decades. Its protein density is measured at concentrations that dwarf animal sources. Its amino acid profile is complete, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce on its own, including leucine, the critical amino acid that activates the mTOR pathway, the biological switch that tells your muscle cells to grow and repair. Unlike plant proteins that are often criticized for missing amino acids, this seed delivers a full spectrum in quantities that have genuinely stunned nutritional scientists. Beyond protein, this seed contains omega-3 fatty acids that reduce the inflammation that destroys muscle tissue. It contains magnesium, which activates over 300 enzymatic processes involved in muscle contraction and repair. It contains antioxidants that protect muscle cell membranes from oxidative damage, the same cellular rust that ages your tissues from the inside out. Civilizations didn't survive and thrive on this seed by accident. They knew something about human strength that the modern food industry desperately wants you to forget. What if building muscle after 60 isn't harder? It's just different. And once you understand the difference, you become unstoppable. Here is what most trainers and nutritionists get catastrophically wrong. They prescribe the same muscle-building protocols designed for 25-year-old athletes to men and women who are 65. The biology is completely different. At 60 plus, testosterone and growth hormone levels are lower. Recovery time is longer. The anabolic window, the critical time period after physical activity when your muscles absorb protein most effectively, is shorter and more demanding. This means timing matters more than ever. Consuming high-quality, rapidly absorbed protein within 30 to 45 minutes of any physical activity is not optional for seniors. It is the difference between stimulating muscle growth and experiencing muscle breakdown. The seed we're discussing today is uniquely suited for this window. Its protein is highly digestible, meaning it reaches muscle cells faster than conventional animal protein. Resistance training does not need to be extreme. Research at leading institutions consistently shows that even light resistance exercise 2 to 3 times per week, combined with optimal protein timing, produces measurable muscle mass gains in adults well into their 80s. The biology of aging is not a death sentence for your muscles. It is simply a different instruction manual, and today you are finally reading the right one. What if the most powerful muscle-building food on earth costs almost nothing, and the people profiting from the supplement industry are terrified you'll find out? The global protein supplement market is worth over $20 billion annually. Protein powders, amino acid capsules, collagen drinks, expensive protein bars, all marketed aggressively at the exact demographic most desperate for solutions. Aging adults who are losing muscle and willing to pay anything to feel strong again. The truth is weaponized inconvenience. When the answer is simple and cheap, it doesn't sell. When the answer costs $2 a bag and outperforms every premium supplement on the shelf, the industry goes quiet. This remarkable seed, available in virtually every grocery store on the planet, can be added to smoothies, sprinkled on yogurt, stirred into oatmeal, or consumed directly with water. It requires no preparation, no cooking, no expensive equipment. A single serving delivers a protein punch that would cost you $30 in supplement form for less than 30 cents. For seniors on fixed incomes, for anyone watching their budget, this is not just a health revelation, it is a financial liberation. Affordable, accessible, ancient, and scientifically validated. The seed your great-grandparents knew and your supplement company prays you never discover. Let's begin with a truth that nobody in the mainstream health world wants to say out loud. After the age of 60, the human body enters a state of nutritional crisis so profound, so biologically complex, that simply eating more protein will not save you. It is not about quantity, it is about biology. It is about what your cells can actually receive, absorb, and use. And the gap between what you're consuming and what your muscles are actually getting is enormous. There is a condition called sarcopenia. It's the medical term for age-related muscle loss, and it is the most underdiagnosed, most ignored, most catastrophically dangerous health crisis facing every human being over the age of 60 on this planet. Your body loses between 1 and 3% of its muscle mass every single year after 60. By 70, you may have already surrendered 30% of the muscular architecture that keeps you mobile, independent, metabolically healthy, and alive. Sarcopenia doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. It's the morning stiffness that takes longer to shake. It's the grocery bag that feels heavier than it used to. It's the stairs that steal your breath in a way they never did before. It is the slow, invisible theft of your physical life, and it is happening right now, inside your body, as you watch this. But here is what they never tell you. Muscle can be rebuilt at 60, at 70, at 80. The research is not ambiguous. It is not uncertain. Studies conducted at institutions around the world have proven repeatedly and conclusively that human muscle tissue retains its capacity to grow, repair, and strengthen at virtually any age, provided it receives the right signals. Two signals above all others: movement and protein. Specifically, the right kind of protein delivered at the right time, in a form your aging digestive system can actually use. Now let's talk about chicken, because I know what most of you are thinking. I eat chicken, I eat fish, I'm getting my protein. And I understand why you believe that. The entire fitness and nutrition industry has spent decades telling you that lean animal protein is the gold standard of muscle building. It was never entirely true, and after 60, it becomes a genuinely dangerous misconception. Here's the science. After 60, your stomach produces dramatically less hydrochloric acid, the acid responsible for breaking down dense animal proteins into absorbable amino acids. Your pancreatic enzyme output declines. Your intestinal surface area, the tiny finger-like projections called villi that absorb nutrients into your bloodstream, becomes less efficient. The net result is a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Your muscles become resistant to the protein signals they need to grow, even when you're consuming adequate amounts of protein on paper. Research suggests older adults absorb as little as 50% of the protein from conventional meat sources. Your chicken dinner may be delivering half of what you believe. And the other half? It is fermenting in your gut, feeding inflammatory bacteria, and contributing to the very conditions that are destroying your muscle tissue from the inside out. The saturated fat in commercial animal protein burdens your cardiovascular system. The arachidonic acid increases systemic inflammation. The chronic low-grade cellular fire that is now recognized as the underlying driver of heart disease, diabetes, neurological decline, and accelerated aging. You are paying a biological price for your protein that your body can barely afford. There has to be a better way. And there is. There has always been. For thousands of years, across multiple ancient civilizations on multiple continents, human beings maintained extraordinary physical strength, endurance, and longevity on a protein source so small, so unassuming, so radically affordable that the modern food industry has essentially buried it under mountains of marketing noise. A seed, not a new superfood invented in a laboratory, not a patented protein compound available only in premium supplement stores. A seed, ancient, natural, accessible. And when scientists finally analyzed its nutritional profile with modern technology, what they found stopped them cold. The protein density of this seed is not marginally better than chicken. It is not twice as concentrated. We are talking about a protein profile that measures at 300 times the concentration of conventional animal sources, with a complete amino acid spectrum that includes all 9 essential amino acids your body cannot produce independently, including leucine. If you don't know why leucine matters, let me explain, because this is where the science becomes genuinely breathtaking. Leucine is the master key of muscle growth. It is the amino acid that activates a molecular pathway inside your muscle cells called mTOR, the mechanistic target of rapamycin. When leucine activates mTOR, your muscle cells receive a direct biological instruction: grow, repair, rebuild. Without sufficient leucine, your muscles cannot receive that signal no matter how much protein you consume. This seed delivers leucine in concentrations that trigger mTOR activation with a speed and efficiency that chicken breast cannot match. It is not metaphor. It is not marketing language. It is cellular biology. Beyond protein, this seed contains omega-3 fatty acids, the anti-inflammatory compounds that protect muscle cell membranes from the oxidative damage that ages your tissues at the molecular level. It contains magnesium in concentrations that support the more than 300 enzymatic processes involved in muscle contraction, repair, and energy production. It contains antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, the unstable molecules produced by exercise and aging that, left unchecked, destroy the very muscle tissue you're trying to build. It is, in the truest scientific sense, a complete muscle-building system inside a single tiny seed. And here is the fact that should make every person watching this stop and reconsider everything they've been buying. This seed costs almost nothing, less than $2 for a supply that would last you weeks. No preparation required, no cooking, no blending unless you choose to. Stir it into water, sprinkle it on anything. Add it to a smoothie and walk away. The equivalent protein value in premium supplement form would cost you $30 or more. The industry knows this. The silence around this seed is not accidental. It is economic. Now let me tell you how to use this properly, because even the most powerful nutritional tool in the world requires the right approach to produce results. After 60, the anabolic window, that critical period following physical activity, when your muscle cells are primed to absorb protein, is shorter and more demanding than it is for younger adults. You have approximately 30 to 45 minutes after any form of exercise, including a walk, to deliver protein to your muscles. During this window, your cells are open. They are receptive. They are hungry for the signal to grow. Consume this seed within that window, a single serving, with water, with a smoothie, however you prefer. The rapid digestibility of this protein means it reaches your muscle cells faster than any conventional animal protein you could eat. While your neighbor is still digesting their post-workout chicken breast, your muscles are already receiving and processing the amino acid signals that initiate growth and repair. Pair this with resistance training. I am not asking you to become an athlete. Research consistently shows that even light resistance exercise, body weight movements, resistance bands, light dumbbells, performed just 2 to 3 times per week, produces measurable, significant muscle mass gains in adults well into their 80s. The biology is on your side. The cellular machinery for muscle growth never completely shuts down. It simply needs the right inputs. Movement creates the stimulus. This seed delivers the fuel. Your body does the rest. And the results are not hypothetical. They are documented in peer-reviewed research across populations of men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who began strength training and optimized their protein intake and experienced not just maintained muscle mass, but genuine measurable growth, increased strength, improved balance, reduced fall risk, better blood sugar regulation, lower inflammation markers, enhanced cognitive function because your muscles produce hormones called myokines when they work, and those myokines cross the blood-brain barrier and protect your neurons. Building muscle after 60 doesn't just make you look and feel stronger, it makes you biologically younger. It reduces your risk of virtually every chronic disease that threatens your independence and your life in the second half of your journey. Every pound of muscle you rebuild is a biological shield. Every seed you consume is an investment in years, real, vibrant, physically capable years, that the conventional medical system will never prescribe for you. This is not a supplement commercial. This is not a sales pitch. This is science that has existed for decades, kept quiet by an industry that profits when you are confused, expensive, and dependent. The seed is real. The research is real, the results are real, and they are available to you today, right now, for almost nothing. You are not too old, your muscles are not too far gone. The human body's capacity for transformation, for renewal, for defying the conventional expectations of aging is one of the most staggering biological realities ever documented by modern science. You just needed someone to tell you the truth. Today, that truth is yours. The single most powerful thing you can take away from everything shared today is this: aging does not mean surrender. Muscle loss after 60 is not destiny, it is a problem with a solution. The solution is not expensive, not complicated, and not out of reach for anyone watching this. Your body is not broken, it is simply waiting for better inputs. A seed that costs almost nothing contains protein 300 times more concentrated than conventional sources, delivers a complete amino acid profile that your aging cells can actually absorb and use, and has been validated by decades of serious nutritional science. Pair it with movement, any movement, timed strategically, and you are giving your muscles exactly what they need to rebuild, restore, and refuse the narrative that after 60, the best is behind you. The best may be completely, scientifically, biologically ahead of you. The only question is whether you are willing to start.